function continuity. Then on this meter to make a selection continuity, but then it test a continuity insulation. Then let's start with the rotor. Per rotor is very obvious. To test continuity rotor winding. Continuity rotor winding. Insulation. The insulation. Continuity ne insulation. Saka continuity kumbo bayira meter yedu pama slip rings yedu ari 2 this result shows us kuti there's an electrical connection between the slip rings and there is an electrical connection which is normal. Those is normal so if this winding is supplied with power, it can be magnetized. Then we also test grounding or insulation. Any one of the slip rings and the housing, the power housing, and we don't expect our meter to indicate continuity because the winding is normally insulated from the housing. No current is expected to go down to earth without passing through the winding. That will weaken the magnetic field of the rotor and reduce alternator output. So those are the two tests that we carry out on the rotor. Per rotor tinema test anyway at 2. Akatokwa nakadana. Test for continuity. On this one is a delta stator. We've got about 6 windings. So continuity, we've tested this before. We expect these two ends to be show continuity. So that is normal. So that's the continuity on a delta stator. Then we also test for grounding. We want to check whether if there is any charge which goes down to ground without passing through the entire length of any one of those windings. On a delta stator, we may have to test all windings. So it's important to separate the rectifier from the stator for us to get meaningful results. As you can see, there is no grounding. So this is the normal arrangement. The insulators are still intact. So in short, on the stator we test for grounding, we test for continuity of the stator windings. Toenda kupi to diode testing. So then the current function hapo, then we change the function and we go on to the diode testing function. So when testing the rectifier, we test one diode, rather we test a series of diodes, okay? We can do that, we can do this all at once, like using the positive on the diode, this on the negative, the negative on the, let me find a proper place where you can test this. Okay, takadai so nyatsochibata zvakasimba. Then we reverse. We use the positive now. We use the positive to heat sink. Then the negative for diodes. This is not normal. These are shorted diodes. My shorted diodes. They pass current in either direction. Yeah. They pass current in either direction, so this rectifier is faulty. It just has to be replaced because it has got faulty diodes. So we have tested the rectifier, the rotor, and the stator. Then there's hand and eye inspection. Mechanical components. We have to test, say, have a feel of the smoothness of the rotation of this rotor, and of course listening to the noises that are being produced. Like in this case, this bearing is beginning to fail because this is no smooth rotation. It's quite rough. And normally bearings are replaced all at once. You don't replace only one bearing. Even though this one still feels smooth, you also replace it at the same time. When you open up this alternator, you replace the bearing at the pulley and the bearing at the back all at once. Then we also inspect the slip rings for any form of damage. If damaged slip rings may cause undercharging. No, we don't remove my slip rings. We just replace the motor as to go replace the motor is but my bearings, to motion side to bearing puller. We use a bearing puller to pull that off.
You get the same neighbor.
Same rekufrando. Rekufrando good aritonetsi kubvisa. It's a case of removing this very big bolt, remove the pulley, pull out the rotor. Then there are 3 screws there, where there is a bracket which retains the bearing inside the drive end bracket. Then unscrew that. Then punch from this side, it will just go through the other end. So we inspect bearings for wear. Then we also inspect stators. The stator is also inspected for, say, overheating. We can also inspect the stator for rubbing, for any rub marks. If it is not rubbing with the water, it will show some rub marks in there. So it is inspected for rubbing as part of diagnosis because of failure. Then of course the other components that are inspected are not part of the alternator. We check the belt, the condition of the belt. If the belt is stretched or broken or damaged, it may fail to roll the pulley fast enough. The mounting brackets, the adjusting brackets, we should also inspect them for functionality. They are still in a very good condition to ensure that belt tension is always correct. So those are some of the N&I inspection, the inspection that we carry out on the charging system to ensure that it is in good working order all the time. And okay, you can stop it.